lovely friends, it's Margaret, and this is a reading vlog. I'm supposed to do this. I don't know why I didn't do that. As in the last vlog, please ignore the laundry that I'm not doing right now because I have more important things to do. Like edit videos and stuff. I need scissors. Hold on. So now that in theory we have everything that I need in one place, except, hold on, I should probably pull up my audiobook for you guys so I can show it to you. So there are a couple things that need to be happening right now. It's koreadathon, and this is my koreadathon vlog. Definitely will be watching a K-drama at some point this week. I don't know if I will be cooking any Korean dishes. I have to look up recipes and see what is available to me through the places that I go for groceries, because those are the only places I am going right now. Like literally, I go to work, I come back home, I go on my jog, and I order groceries. Let's talk about what I am supposed to be reading for this readathon, which brings us to, I want you guys to understand that I have had this box sitting in my room for like 4 days, and I figured since I'm doing a vlog, I might as well do an unboxing. There are 3 books in here. 2 of them are for koreadathon. One of them I put on there because I was watching another booktuber's video about this book, and I am weak because it is one of my favorite authors. A whole bunch of stuff I don't care about. My receipt. Oh, look at them. They're so pretty. Oops. I think I just... I cut my cover. Whoopsies. Okay, well, it's fine. It's the Ali Carter book. So I got this one that's by Ali Carter. It is not on my koreadathon, but you just need to look at this because it makes me happy because it's Ali Carter. I swear I'm a normal person. Oh no. Oh, when I read this, it's not gonna fit on the shelf. Wait, maybe if maybe there's room that I could put it with. We'll see what happens. My little fangirly moment over. The books that I am supposed to actually be reading for koreadathon are The Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. I'm so happy to finally have this. I follow Kat Cho. I love her. She has such great writing advice. I think I found her trying to do queries or something, and that's how I found out about this book. And I have been meaning to read it for the longest time, but when it came out, not in the best financial place. And you know how, like, what isn't important at that, like, when it's, you get past when something is important and you can't do it, and then, so I just kind of hadn't gotten around to buying this book, but now I have, because I have money. I'm so glad I didn't cut this one. I don't mind beating up my books, and this will look nice on the shelf, just like that. I don't mind beating up my books a little bit, if I am the one who is doing the beating up of the books. The other one I have is The Silence of Bones by June Her, and I just realized I didn't tell you what The Wicked Fox is about. Basically, this is about Kyung, so she is a gumiho, which is a 9-tailed fox, and she gets her energy or something by killing men, like devouring not killing, but devouring their souls. And so because she has to devour men's souls, she tries to, like, target people who are bad. But then one day she chooses not to kill someone because he's a good person and he's innocent, and so she loses her powers. And this is either about her, I think this is about her getting her powers back. But it also has a sequel. Oh, it has a sequel. I have made a grave error. So basically it's about a romance between her and this boy, and he's not supposed to know what she is, but she reveals herself to him anyways, and she saves his life, and it gets her in lots and lots and lots and lots of trouble. And I'm here for it. This one is going to be Korean mythology. This is the one that's based on the prompt for Korean mythology. That's the prompt it's fulfilling. I am also reading the group book, The Silence of Bones by June Her, which you've already seen. But this is group book and person on the cover, because there's 2 of them. But this is about, it doesn't tell you her name. Anyways, the point is, it's about a girl who is working with the police in 1800s Korea. A woman turns up dead, and they start looking into it, and there's like nefarious stuff going on behind the scenes. And she's also connected to another detective that she's working with, and I'm like, sounds like a little bit of romance, and I'm in the mood for romance because I just finished an audiobook that didn't do it for me, man. Like, the romance wasn't there to the very, very end, and there was no angst, there was no pining. Like, it was all so understated and not at all the point. And I'm just like, I need something that's going to give me some pining and angst. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure Wicked Fox is going to give me that. All right, so I needed an audiobook at work today, and I was going to read a different book, but then I was like, you know what? I still haven't found a translated work, and I can't get either of these as audiobooks. That's going to be a problem. It's fine. We'll work through it. We might not finish Wicked Fox this week. That might have to happen later. But anyways, I was like, so I went on and I found a list of Korean translated fiction, and finally, it's so funny because none of them were hitting it for me. I was like, this isn't what I want to read right now. This isn't what I want to read right now. And then, none of them were coming up in Scribd or Overdrive. And then I found one. I was like, this one sounds interesting. I'm here for it. And it just so happened to be on Scribd. I was like, God is smiling on me right now. He knew I needed a break. But it is The Court Dancer by Kyung Shin. Look at this cover. Look at this. Can you see the cover? Look at how pretty that cover is. Like, half of why I want to read this is that gorgeous cover, but I started reading it, and oh my gosh, guys. It's like historical fiction, but it's more of a literary style, so it's more character focused, it's more like reflective, it's not as plot driven, which I've had issues with literary novels in the past because sometimes literary novels do it for me and sometimes they don't, and this, so good so far. I'm just like, it's going in, it starts at one point and we've gone back to her childhood, and the way that it's telling the storyline, like the way it's kind of going to it starts in the present and then comes back to the past and like links the two together. I'm here for it, and I'm super enjoying it. Like, I'm just having so much fun. So this is fulfilling the one about a diaspora character, and it's fulfilling a translated work. It is about a Korean woman who ends up marrying a French diplomat. She was a dancer in the emperor's court of Joseon, and she ends up falling in love, or he falls in love with her, and she ends up marrying him and following him to France for a bit, and then she's going to end up going back to Korea after she's lived in Korea after she's lived in France. And it's just basically about her life and her going to France and being in Paris and adjusting to that, and then her journey back home. So I'm enjoying it so much right now. Like, it's just like, and it's funny because it's not got any of the things that I'm usually like, yes, I'm here for. It's just historical, and there's so much like detail that they're just like, here are all of these details and these court politics, and I'm like, I'm here for it. I am probably in the same shirt that I was in yesterday because it's my Lila Barb shirt, and I wore it yesterday because I could, and then I was going jogging today, and I felt like some Lila Bard energy. So anyways, what was I getting on here to say? That it's Tuesday, the 7th. Happy anniversary to my parents. Hooray, I'm alive. Anyways, I won't tell you how many years they've been married because that dates them, but they've been married longer than I've been around. And I'm 32. So, add a few years to that. My mother is so weird about age. She refuses to tell anyone. But I know. Let's talk about these books that I am currently reading. So I have not gotten very far in The Silence of Bones. I couldn't stay up. I stayed up till midnight last night, and I just couldn't read. I was falling asleep, and I was like, this book deserves better than me being unable to keep my eyes off and dozing off every other sentence because I just am tired. This is really funny because this is historical fiction, and then The Court Dancer is historical fiction, and they are intersecting in such an interesting way because The Court Dancer is a little bit later than this book is, I think, because this is in the 1800s. Pretty sure there's not going to be any romance in this video, by the way. Just because the romance, I thought, I was like, oh, he's 27. There better not be any romance. Not between them, at least. It was really funny because I was reading this during my lunch break, and it started talking about Korea's relationship with Catholicism. And we literally just talked about Korea and Catholicism in The Court Dancer. It keeps mentioning things in this book that The Court Dancer has talked about, and like The Court Dancer is really going into the history of stuff, and I'm just like, oh, I know what's going on here. Capricorn moment. I like knowing things. I'm not entirely sure if that is a Capricorn trait, but it's somewhere in my chart. And I haven't found a placeholder for what I would usually say. So basically, on the police force, they hire or they indenture these women because the men are not allowed to touch women because due to Confucius's teachings, is what they've said. I haven't, like, it hasn't gotten into, like, exactly what those teachings are, but the men are not allowed to touch women, and so they have to hire these women to take care of, or to deal with the corpses and interview the women and all of that, so that they're not violating those teachings, or that part of their religion. And so it's really, I'm enjoying it. We just got over how they did an autopsy, and I'm like, they were doing autopsies in the 1800s? Like, this tells you how much historical crime fiction I watch or read, which is not much. But I'm looking forward to this because this seems like it's going to be kind of like a historical fiction, maybe mystery or thriller. And I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Hello, it is Thursday. I was going to update y'all yesterday, but Chloe Ting kicked my ass. And so I did not update at all. Really feels like it feels like I should have bruises. That's how sore I am right now. Anyways, some point, I don't know how I'm gonna go jogging later today because I'm just like, moving hurts. Everything hurts. Okay. Well, actually, no. My abs, which were the part I was supposed to be working out, were fine. Apparently, they just said, oh, we still remember all of these Pilates workout things. I'm too lazy to go get the book, but I think I figured out what the connection is between our main character and the inspector. I think I figured it out. And if it's what I think it is, this will be a 5-star book. It will be? Yeah. That one of my favorite tropes. One of my favorite tropes. I say that about a lot of things, but like when we're ranking tropes, like this is in the God tier trope level, regardless of whether it's loved, whatever version of loved one it is. I like reunions. I do. And I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen. I'm also, I don't know, a little bit over 50% through the Court Dancer. It is a much slower book, but it's very interesting, and I'm enjoying like the kind of historical look that is like, it's a very introspective historical fiction. I think I've already said that. But we've gotten to the point where she is in Paris and she's having to deal with the fact that the way everyone in Paris treats her and how they kind of she just made this analogy between objects in museums and the way people look at her. And I really like that. She also went after museums for having objects that were not found, all the things that are in the Louvre that were not found in France, that were found, in other places. So, which I do. I feel like maybe museums should get back the stuff they stole. But that's just me. I was supposed to hang out with my brother tonight, but he double booked. And I was the aberration. He apparently has a standing thing on Thursdays that he completely forgot about when we were talking about hanging out this week. So now I have all of this free time in the evening. So I think what's going to happen is I'm going to try and take that time, maybe use a little bit of it for writing since this is Camp Nano, but I think I'm probably going to use most of that to get through this because I would really like to be done this by tomorrow. I don't even know how I'm going to get through Wicked Fox. I really chose a poor weekend for this writing retreat to happen. Well, I didn't choose it. It was voted on. But I should have really thought about the fact that there was only one weekend in the dates that I gave people that didn't have a readathon in it. Did I think about that fact? No. I'm going to regret this. It's fine, though. I need to write this book. Happy Friday, nerds! So, here we are. On Friday, we have 3 days. Technically, this is the second to last day. No? Third to last day of this readathon. This is where we are. I am halfway through, and it is 5:22. So, about when I would be getting off work. But I got up early today because we had a training today. So, and then I came home and I took a nap. So, I have a write-in today. Yes, I am aware that there is a new crack on my phone. I don't want to talk about it. I have a write-in today at 8 p.m. So I need to do some just general cleaning up so that the camera sees, well, it looks like my room is clean from the camera angle that I use. So I'm going to listen to the court dancer while I do that, because I wasn't able to listen to it this morning. Usually I listen to my audiobooks when I'm scanning and doing data entry and stuff. So I wasn't able to do that this morning, so I'm going to put on the court dancer now, and I'm going to clean for like 15 minutes. Because that's pretty much all I probably need for the live show. And then once that's done, I think we're going to just sit and read for a little bit, because I would like to get a little bit further into this. I don't think we're getting to Wicked Fox this week. It's fine. Even if I got it as an audiobook, I'm only like halfway through the water dancer, the court dancer. So I don't think I'd be able to get all the way through Wicked Fox before then. No, you didn't get to see me yesterday. I started, okay, so I asked Chanel from Chanel Time for some recommendations because we were talking about K-dramas, or she said something about K-drama. I don't remember how we got on the subject of K-dramas, but she recommended 4, and like it was fantastic because looking at the 4, I was like boom, 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 hitting box, like checking boxes. Like I was like, oh, I like that trope. Oh, I like that trope. Oh, that's a good trope. That's a good trope. Like she just knew. She knew instinctually what I want. And so I started one last night called, I want to say the title is Because This Is My First Life. I don't have Twitter on my phone. Hold on. Listen, taking Twitter off my phone has been a fantastic decision because not only can I get around it by getting on Chrome, and so I don't have the app, but that's such a hassle that like I don't. Okay, it is Because This Is My First Life. And I don't know that that is the most accurate translation of the concept, because that title kind of made me feel like it was talking about reincarnation almost. And there is a little bit of that, but it's more about like, this is the first time I am doing this. For example, the main character, Jiho, it's the first time she is moving out on her own, technically. She's got a roommate. And I do believe, let's see, it says 2 housemates get married for financial convenience, but discover nothing is simple when it comes to demanding in-laws or facing their growing bond. So it's super cute. It's about this girl who works as a writer for K-dramas, and she's a freelancer. So she doesn't have the best, income, but she's got some income. And she's got more income than her brother, who she has been living with. But her brother gets married, and she doesn't want to live with newlyweds because they're like, well, even though you paid for this apartment, it's in his name because he is the son. And so if someone's going to move out, it has to be you. I like that it's talking about misogyny and how boys can be prioritized in families, because I like that. And I know there are still a lot of cultures where that is an issue in ways that it's not an issue here as much. Like, I think we're much more subtle in the United States. We like to pretend that it's not happening, as we do with many things. And it's nice to see it just so it's there, and this is what favoring the son looks like, and she's not, like, it's not being subtle about it. It's just like, boom, here you go. This is the fact that my brother has been prioritized over me my whole life. And I live in the patriarchy. It was so cute. Not the patriarchy and what's going on, but the way she is talking about it is cute, and like I like it. I think it's a fun way to discuss serious topics. Like, it still makes you feel like, oh, it's more of a like, oh, I feel that, I see that, I connect with that, than it is a serious discussion. It's just a part of her life. I hopefully will not go down this particular foreign television rabbit hole the way I did with Turkish television, because that was a trip and all I wanted to do. And I still haven't finished that series because the secondhand embarrassment was so bad. Also, their episodes are 2 hours long. I don't know what is going on in Turkey, but if they have 2 hours to watch a television show, I want to live that life. This one is normal television hours, but it's also going to take me longer to get through because I have to actually like read the subtitles. Maybe we'll see me adding Korean to my Duolingo, because I like being able to start picking out words and stuff, and I know that that'll happen faster if I do Duolingo. Anyways, so where are we with the books? I didn't read anything yesterday. I was running sprints all day yesterday. And then when I wasn't running sprints, I was like, I have a headache. I'm going to go lie down. We had fun on the live show, by the way. If you want to see a really weird live show where we do a writing tag and then we talk about kinky Jane Austen, I will have that linked. I think it's over there. I have 2 hours left of the Court Dancer. I'm going to try and finish that today. And then according to, let's see, what is book, oh fudge, hold on. I'm just sitting here talking to you because I have no one else to talk to that actually, you know, cares about these things. It says I need another hour and a half to finish The Silence of Bones. So what's going to happen? I have to go downstairs and do meal prep now because I have another sprint that I'm supposed to be running at 2 o'clock, and that goes for 3 hours. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to listen to the Court Dancer, and that should take me maybe a good hour. Hopefully that'll get me close enough that I can finish it today. Hopefully. And then this, I think, if I can get like a good half hour or an hour before the next sprint, and then maybe another half hour between this sprint and the live show that we have tonight, and then I'll have time after the live show to read this, because I'm like, I don't have to do any writing when I am not doing sprints, because I'm doing like 6 hours worth of writing a day right now. It's working. I'm almost at 1,000 words. So, but this is the wrong vlog to be talking about that, because this is not my writing vlog. So we're almost at the end of the Court Dancer, and y'all, I don't think I'm gonna like how this book ends. I don't think I'm gonna like it. I don't think I'm gonna like it. Anyways, it's good, like, it's a good writing style, and I'm enjoying the book. I'm just sitting here looking at the ending and going, oh boy. This is gonna, we'll see. We'll see. I still have 41 minutes. So maybe what I'm worried is gonna happen isn't gonna happen, but I am worried that it's gonna happen. So, why am I saying happen like that? I'm worried it's gonna happen. Happen. Where am I from? Anyways, so I'm gonna settle down and I'm gonna read some of this because I'm waiting for my chicken to cool off so I can shred it. Shred chicken with a beater. It's so much easier than shredding it with forks. Highly recommend. We'll never go back to using forks again. Ever. I'm also slightly worried about how this one is going to end, but it is also YA instead of adult, and so I'm less, like, YAs tend not to have the kind of endings that you will find in adult literary fiction, especially in adult foreign literary fiction. There's a reason I don't watch French films, guys. There's a reason, and it's because they're all sad and depressing. I'm just hoping that my eye makeup still looks okay after having been at work all day and all of that jazz. So, it is time for the final update. I have finished both the books. I'm very happy with myself. I managed to finish both of them. Both of them. And I didn't even have to stay up past my bedtime. I'm so old I have a bedtime now. I miss staying up till 3 a.m. Mistakes were made in choosing these books. I'm just gonna say that. Mistakes were made. But they were good books. But they were both sad books. And if you know anything on my channel, you know I don't like sad. I don't like books that are sad at the end. So, anyways, so I finished the Court. I finished The Court Dancer. Not my favorite book I've ever read, but because it was historical fiction and I kind of went into it expecting there to be a lot of tragedy, it wasn't devastating as it could have, as other books have been in my life. I didn't want to throw anything across the room. I didn't want to cry out of anger. I just was like, well, it's a historical novel and this stuff happened to people, and it was sad, but it was all, I don't want to say, like, okay, it was well written, and it really explored an interesting time in history because it is right before, like, it basically covers the events or the life of this woman leading up to the point where Joseon becomes Korea. I think, honestly, mostly the thing that made me mad is who survives and who ends up dying. And I'm just like, I'm really tired of this narrative happening to women. Just tired of it. Like, I know that a lot of this was historical stuff that happened, but I'm just like, tired of needlessly writing about tragedy happening to women. And then, yeah, frustrated. Like, I understand what the author was doing, but it frustrated me. And, oh God, just, like, it was sad in a real world way that you sit there and you go, like, this is actually what happened to people. And it's, it just makes you mad that that's what happened to people, and that's how things happened. And but it was really well written. I really liked the way that it went into the history and the way that it explored the lives of the characters. And I loved some of the prose and the way it was written. So it didn't get a 1-star, which is what books that do this usually books like this would get a 1-star. But I'm going to give it 3 because it was well done. It was well done. Anyway, so I finished that book and I was like, well, I kind of had hope that The Silence of Bones was going to come out and be like, okay, well, here's this happy thing that happens. And it was not a happy book. It was bittersweet at the end. I enjoyed reading it. It had its flaws. I think that there were definitely places where things were a little too convenient. But this also, it was a mystery, and it was this author's, I think this is this author's debut novel. So I can see that it's a debut novel. So I'm not really holding that against them. I think that there are definitely places that if they were to, like, do the same story, like, 4 or 5 years down the line, like, they'd be able to make that a little bit subtler. I loved the way the mystery came together and the whodunit. I didn't even think, like, that didn't even cross my mind, which is why this is getting 4 stars. Because I really, like, there was a part of me that wanted to 3-star it. Because, but it surprised me, not surprised me, but it had me so caught up in the story and in what was happening with the main character and what she's trying to accomplish, that I was kind of blindsided by who it was, and I was like, oh, well, that makes, how did I not see that coming? Apparently I am not as smart as I thought I was. But there were just a few places where I felt like the follow through was lacking, and also, I don't want to spoil this, so I'm not going to say that the thing, like, the follow-through or the thing that I had the most problems with, they're tied together, and I would have liked just a little bit more acknowledgement from one character. Also would have liked a happy ending, but it wasn't like you had hope for the main character at the end of this book. You didn't have hope for the main character at the end of the last book. Anyways, I recommend this one. I especially recommend this one if you like books that are really deep and emotional, and you're not like me and you're not, like, dependent on a happy ending for your life to go well. I sound so stupid and shallow, I know. This is why I only trust Rick Riordan, because I know he will write the ending that I want, which is the ending where Percy and Annabeth are together. That's what he writes. He just, like, he can do whatever else he wants with the rest of his characters as long as Percy and Annabeth are together. So one of the things that I thought about reading this book, that this made me really think of, there are a lot of words in here that I'm like, I don't know what this means at the beginning of the book. I'm sitting there going, huh? What's going on? Like, I'm not familiar with this setting. And it made me sit there and think about the fact that people, if this were, for example, a Brandon Sanderson book, and it was a new world with a new, like, a magic system and a whole new culture and all that, people would not care that there were words they didn't understand, or that the setting was, you know, something that they weren't familiar with. But because this is something that's set in the real world, and it's going to be historical and all that, there are people that, like I can just see people being mad because they didn't feel like certain words were explained the way they should have been explained, or they weren't, like, listen, I am not a visual person, but I still was not seeing a world I knew. It was good at painting a picture of a culture that I have almost zero experience with. Like, almost zero. I took some humanities classes, and I have, what else? I think it's just basically what I know from my humanities class, and a little bit of world history, and maybe some of the Royal Diaries books. I can't remember. Was one of them in Korea? I feel like that was one that I didn't read, though, because I kind of grew out of those books as they were just starting up. It just was really interesting to, like, be reading this and be kind of thinking about how it's basically like, if you're reading outside of your own culture, or you're reading a culture that you don't know, it's basically the same thing as reading a fantasy book. And if you're having no problem reading a fantasy book, if you're having no problem with Way of Kings and all of the gajillion things that he throws at you in that book, why do you have a problem when it is somewhere historical? And I say this as someone who loves historical settings and loves learning about other cultures and all of that. So, like, just some food for thought. Anyways, I need to go read a happy book. We didn't get to Wicked Fox. I feel like probably what should have happened is I read this and I read Wicked Fox, because I know Wicked Fox is going to be one that I'm going to absolutely adore because it has romance. I'm so shallow when it comes to the books I like. I'm just like, is there kissing? Does it have a happy ending? Okay. Okay, not really, because there have been books that have kissing and a happy ending, and I'm like, this is trash. You made some mistakes here. You're gross, Orson Scott Card. Actually, you know what? I don't know how it ended, because I didn't even finish that series, because I was like, this is a gross author's note. Let's not read any more of this. Basically, this was fun. It got 4 stars. I'm glad I read it. I'm sad I read it, but I'm also glad I read it. And there's like this little moment at the end that I'm like, aw, can we have a sequel? Anyways, I'm glad that I read this book, and I'm glad that I participated in koreadathon. And now I'm gonna go get stuff done so that I can continue watching, because this is my first life, because that was happy and cute. And hopefully no one is going to die. Part of the reason that I've never watched a K-drama before is because my mother likes to watch them, but she likes to watch the historical ones. And so I hear all these stories about how they're sad and everyone dies. And I'm just like she's watching one right now. She's like, she goes into it. She's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure he's going to die because the next one shows her with like an 8-year-old kid. And I'm like, how about no thank you? I don't think so. But this is modern, and it looks like it's going to be a rom-com. And so in theory, I mean, I've heard some of the ones that she's watched have been modern and terrible when it comes to endings. But this seems like it's going to be cute and not terrible when it comes to endings. And guys, if either of them die and you have watched this show, you need to tell me now, because I need to know. Said this on Twitter. If you see me getting attached to a character that you know dies, like really attached to them, and then the main character or the love interest, you need to tell me. You need to tell me so I can dissociate and not have my life ruined. I'm sorry, I'm random and you guys probably want to go. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. What was that? Just thumbs it up because that makes me happy, it makes the algorithm happy, and it helps my videos. Leave a comment down below if you participated in koreadathon. Let me know what you read. How did you feel? How did you feel about the thing that happens at the end of this book and the way that that was wrapped up? I'm just gonna sit here in like a ball and be sad about that for a while after I finish this video. There are other videos over here on the side if you want to see more of what I do on my channel. If you want, like, I'm not always this weird and rambly. Sometimes I actually have put together videos where like I make points that actually make sense. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a no. That's it for now, my friends. Happy reading, and I will see you later when we will talk about more wordy, nerdy things. Bye!